Africa. So UJFM, VIDS, UP, UCT, UKZN.
Okay.
Like, do you want it? Come chasing. Only 3 of us got hired.
Out of 19.
Out of 19.
Oh, 16-ish.
16, guys.
I'm sorry, yeah? That's how it goes, bro.
Like that sometimes. You didn't make the cut. Yeah. It's fine. They were like,
Easy.
yeah, we just heard your show. Can you come?
Okay.
I went, got hired same day. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Congratulations, it's great.
Yeah.
But it's destroying the art.
It is.
So fuck that shit, bro. So I do the whole thing.
I get
She's
you.
pissed. Sheldon, why is this happening on radio? What the fuck? Like, I saw you last week. I'm like, oh, so you saw him last week? That is the art of fucking radio. I'm trying to like keep that shit intact.
And you're live on Dead Radio.
Welcome to another very special episode of Dead Radio with your boy Ini. And you know how we do with the special guests. We have another special guest in the building, and we're reporting from 138 SMUTS live from the WEBSTORE. We're gonna let our guest introduce herself. We're gonna get into her life story, and you know how we do, get those jewels for you guys to use in your everyday life. So without further ado,
Jewels for you to use. What's up, Dead family? Hope you're alive today. Oh my God, that was so corny. Can we start again?
I love it.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Dead family? Hope you're alive today. My name is Lula Odiba. I put everything after the Dibas. If you don't know, you're going to learn today. But just a quick introduction for those who don't know who I am. I am a 26-year-old. I like to describe myself as a tall, long drink of swag. Some might call me a Long Island.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
You know why I'm a Long Island?
Because
Because I'm tall, dark, strong. Few sips of me and I get you there.
You're in the zone.
I love that analogy so much, but it
that.
kind of, I think just in that you kind of see what my personality is like. I'm queer, black, proudly South African. I'm a broadcaster. Television and radio, but first and foremost radio.
Okay.
And I'm so happy that I'm here at Dead Radio.
Shout out.
I think it's going to be a dope conversation. But yeah, I live in a very nice loft in Auckland Park.
Ooh, I love it. If you're her neighbor, please hit us up in the DM.
You know, I have a musician as my neighbor. Do you know Mogeziwe Mabanda?
Yes.
Yeah, he lives
He's your
next door.
neighbor.
Yes, nigga.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so shout out to Mogeziwe.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah,
Dope.
I'm on 5FM. Listen to my show, 12 to 3, every single day. It's called 5 Lunch. And yeah, I have a beautiful girlfriend. Her name is Ashley Beans.
Hey, shout out to
my
Ashley.
bean bag. And yeah, I'm just super happy to be here. Thank you for joining me. Dude.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
How are you today? Right now, in this moment.
Out
How
of
are you
10?
feeling? Yeah, out of 10.
Like a solid 9.7, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
really
it.
good. And you?
Okay. I'm a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, just a solid 9.
9 is like more than a distinction.
Yeah. Oh no, we doing good.
That's all.
Oh, we doing
we
good.
Are now.
Okay, let's start your story from the beginning.
Okay.
Where did you grow up? Tell us a bit about your childhood.
Okay, so I grew up Soweto.
South side.
Komulapo.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I have an older brother.
Dope.
And then later I had 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
I am the daughter of a legend. If you will, right? So believe me, it was an interesting upbringing, right?
I'm sure it
before
was.
that point, I just want to address this and get this out the way because it does form a huge part of my identity and people like to ask about it, right?
Yeah.
So growing up, I was a very like regular girl.
Okay.
You know, I have an older brother, I have cousins. I'm at my gogo's house every weekend. You know, Rewasi Sotu.
Okay.
Salatiski barefoot.
Okay.
Street,
Tupali.
Wabo.
Yeah, Gaibon. Yeah, Castina, Gayu.
Exactly. So I was that kid, and I didn't even realize that I was the daughter of someone super important up until, you know, you grow up and you become a little bit more cognizant of what's happening. Maybe not the most mature, but I can see that like when we're at family gatherings, they're always like, "Yes, you know what I mean?" And I'm like, "What is
what's all of this about?"
What is this about? And then that's when I started learning that, oh, okay, so there's such a thing as being popular, being treated differently because you're popular. There's radio, there's a voice out of a box, and it touches so many, you know, like I'm coming to terms with, okay, and my dad is a god at it. Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, he's not just anyone.
Like, he's not just, like, he's good at it. But again, like, this is not my generation. My friends don't care. He's not Usher.
I feel you. I feel you.
He's just, okay, you know what I mean?
The aunties.
My aunties,
they're just like,
my ass, bro.
Yo, I feel you. Yeah.
And, growing up, I had a great childhood, dude.
Dope.
Maybe not the most present dad. It wasn't like the American, like, white picket fence and whatever. It was the South African picket fence. You have a strong black mother where you don't need a dad. You know? She's holding it. You don't even see anything is wrong.
Yeah. There's nothing missing.
You know what I mean? But it's a little bit different when you have a father who is in the public light, because, you know, whether it's not like as big as a tabloid, but we see it. We're like, okay, you're on like the second or third page of Sunday World, and it's about stupid shit.
Jeez.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of going on and whatever, but it wasn't really a thing. My mom's protected me from all of that.
Okay.
But in school, I was very talkative. I was like literally what I am now. I've always been.
So you've always been an extrovert.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I'm not even gonna be like, I'm an ambivert.
No.
And I actually saw a tweet the other day. Pardon me for rambling. But I saw a tweet the other day of like this woman who was like, so it was this kid who was at a birthday party and she's expressing herself and she's so excited. And this tweet says, oh, I don't want a forward child. And I looked at that video, I was like, oh my God, I was that forward child, and thank fuck I was.
Yeah.
I'm making millions being that fucking forward
child. I feel you.
And I'm so glad I wasn't shut down for being that forward child.
It's so easy for parents to dim their kids' lights and be like, yo,
like, settle down.
Settle down. You're too noisy, like you're too bright, you're taking up too much space.
Like that's a thing.
Yeah. And that's such a negative perspective. I mean, we can even take it further and talk about how that's such a thing in the black community. You know what I mean? They don't want you to make too much noise. Don't take up too much space. Do what you need to do and leave. You know what I mean?
And our parents loved our Princess Diana. Bambiza Princess Di. Now we must be like Princess Di. Don't speak too loud. Don't be too tomboyish. Like, settle down. This and that and that and that and that and that. I heard it too, but thank God, like, I was still me.
So your parents, okay, now they have an extroverted daughter, right? How are they fueling this flame? Or directing it, rather? Because a flame that's not directed
can be explosive.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So how are they?
That is a great question. No one's ever asked me that before. But again, like I told you, I was with my mom.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it was just me and my mom for years.
Okay.
My brother moved out. It was just her and I.
Okay.
Like, you know, so she had a lot of time, like, kind of focusing on me. And my mom spent a lot of time single, so I was like her project.
Okay.
You know? I was like, Mama Jola, dog.
Yeah, come on, dog.
See somebody.
Go live your life.
Get off my dick.
Yeah.
Get on somebody else's.
I love that. I feel you.
But I'm grateful for it. And to answer your question, I was so reckless and oh God, I wasn't like, I'm gonna get expelled because I'm smoking weed at grade 2 kind of vibe. It's just like super rowdy, noisy,
disrupting the class.
Nothing
crazy.
You know what I mean? And so she, like, because my mom is a teacher. Okay. If another teacher is shitting on it, she takes it personally. It's deep for her.
Because you're representing her.
I'm representing her. I'm a teacher. You go. I
feel you.
I can understand you. So she could tell that, like, this kid is a creative. She's out there. She has no shy bone in her body. Okay. So instead of shutting that shit down, let me try things. We started off with a modeling agency.
Dope. How old are you at this time?
Maybe 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking grade 5,
Okay.
you know, 4.
Okay.
And she's like, you need to express yourself elsewhere.
We need to channel this somehow.
We gotta channel this. We go to an agency, and I remember walking in Nelly WEBSTORE. White people, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Of
course.
Yo,
this is serious. Yeah.
Hey, this girl, like a bike, like that nice bike.
I feel you.
She's on. I'm like, I'm not that girl. What the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? Anyway, I wasn't a cute kid. I'm not ashamed to admit it. My man, I'm glad I had the glow up.
Yeah,
being an ugly kid fucks with your self-esteem. So I had to relearn that like you are the shit. And being ugly when you're young, it affects you.
Yo, shout out to all the ugly kids out there. We love you guys.
We love you, and you're okay now.
Yeah, it's okay, bro. It's okay.
It's called character development.
Exactly.
So, this modeling agency.
It's not gonna work.
I wish I could find the pictures for you. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
And you know, we do that. I never get called for ads because I'm not a cute kid. You know what I mean? So it ends up just being one of the things where we pay for, and the investment doesn't make a return. Then she was like, she bought me a keyboard. And then she was like, we need to channel this. She took me to a music school.
Your mom's a visionary.
She's a visionary.
I won't lie, she's a visionary.
She always saw, I just need to, you know?
Direct.
So I went to a music school, learned how to read classical music. We started off with the recorder, and then I moved on to playing the double bass. Did that for 4 years. I could read fucking music classically. We played it in an orchestra.
I'm sure you still can today.
I doubt it, dog.
Damn it.
Yeah. I stopped it when I started in grade 8, stopped in grade 11. And grade 11, it was clear that like, okay, I love the glitz and the glams of being a musician, but I don't see any longevity in it. Then I thought drama, it was always going to be something creative.
Okay.
I just didn't know what it was,
which way it
you know?
was. Okay.
Then I was like, my dad is this soft for talking for 3 hours every Sunday, and you get to hang out with all these. That's what I want to do. I wanted to do it because it was cool, easy in my mind. It was cool, easy, fun. I told my dad. He asked me when he was still with us, and he was like trying to figure me out. He's like, so what the fuck is your story?
Yeah, what do you want?
What do you want to do? And I was too embarrassed to be like, I want to be like
I want to be like you.
You know, you inspired me.
I was like, I love that.
I was like, it's not about you, but I think I like what you do. He kind of like chuckles a bit, and he goes back to this poker face, and he's like, so who do you look up to in the industry, huh?
Yo.
And you're live on Dead Radio. And you're live on Dead Radio.
And then I was definitely not going to say him because it certainly wasn't. He was on Sunday. I wasn't even listening to that shit.
I get you.
I was listening to Bonang.
Yeah, of course. You're not
Metro.
listening to...
I'm not your
like
target
Sunday.
market. I'm not your target market. And so I tell him, I like Bonang. And he's like, oh, my girl. I can already see you in it for the wrong reasons. You thinking Bonang, it's the glitz and the glams. He says to me, I'm not going to put you on. You have to see what it's really about. Little did we know that he meant that he wasn't going to be around to put me on. He died when I was in grade 11. You know what I mean? And then the whole time I was like, what the fuck does he mean?
Yeah, what do you mean by
like,
that?
What do you mean? Like, I just want to be like you. Why are you being mad? Like, you know? And then when I got to campus radio and varsity, I was like, oh, this is what he means.
You have to go
I have to actually
there.
fucking work for this. A lot of these girls now are getting hired because they're great actors and influencers and they're loved by the country.
And they have numbers.
Just put them on
behind
radio,
them. Yeah.
it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
That's what he meant.
I think you just tapped into a very interesting perspective, right? How do you think this social media space or era we're living through is affecting traditional art forms? Because it's not just radio, right?
It's not.
Even music, even acting, right?
Everything.
Everything is being affected by, if you have more numbers than someone who's talented, you're most likely to get the job. Because it is about numbers and people are running businesses, right? So...
Yeah.
What's your perspective?
Man, we can't deny the age of the internet, what it's done and what it's destroyed. With anything beautiful comes some sort of destruction for one person or the other, right? And social currency it's no longer just popularity, it can be actually turned into real fucking money.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm not gonna shit on you because you're popular. Make your fucking bag. The issue is when people who are passionate, prepared, trained, that is now belittled. And in a creative space, we cannot afford to have the creativity compromised.
Because it's the most important thing.
It's so important. It's the one thing we have. So if we're diluting it with social currency, which is, don't get me wrong, congratulations, it's great. But it's destroying the art.
It is.
So fuck that shit, bro.
I feel you.
Don't fucking, like, Mam Koni, may she rest in peace, she passed away last weekend. I watched so many of her interviews. And she was like, do you know how many times I've been put in a room with an influencer who's got great social currency, terrible acting skills. And I don't mind terrible acting skills, her words. But if you're gonna be put in this position and you're not willing to learn with already the things that are at your disposal, you've been given such a great opportunity above people who have trained for this, and you're not gonna put in the effort. Like, I don't expect you to know how to act the next day. I expect you to be shit because you're not here. But if you're not putting, that's what fucking upsets me.
You're
so
not
I'm not
putting
mad
in the work.
that you got blessed in one sense and it's spilling over in all walks of life. But the minute you get there and you're complacent, that's my fucking problem.
Okay. So your problem is
mostly because I be making money off of the same thing.
I feel you.
Social currency's paying
but
me, dude.
The difference is you're a purist, right?
I'm a purist.
So we always we have this conversation about being a purist versus commercialization, right? Which is what a lot of businesses are dealing with in the internet age. It's like, I want to make the best type of hoodie, right? But red is trending. You get what I mean?
It'd be like
so like you have to find the middle ground. And in this internet age, a lot of purists are disappearing. It's because like I can't.
Are they disappearing or are they being drowned out by?
I guess drowned out.
I
guess drowned out.
But would you argue then that the purists are not adapting? Because it is an adapt or die world.
That's the world though. You can't be stuck in, we used to do it like this.
This is how it's supposed to be.
The world doesn't care about that at all. So it's always a tricky, I love to have this conversation with people who do different forms of art. And I do believe broadcasting is an art.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's definitely an art. So I just always like to hear people's perspective about the internet age and how it's affecting the art. Okay, let's get back to the timeline, right? Your timeline. So now you're in varsity.
Right.
You start working at campus radio. What?
It's called Voice of Wits, YFM.
Oh, so you went to Wits.
I went to Wits,
What did you go and study there?
I went to do media studies, anthro, and international relations.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
That place taught me how to speak.
Okay.
Can't tell you I learned anything else but how to speak.
How to speak. Communication is actually one of the greatest skills that any human being can have, right?
You get it.
Being able to take ideas and thoughts from your head
and
articulate them, right? Even just storytelling.
That's like one of the top tier skills I have to have for radio. This is why I appreciate you calling it an art. Can I tell you something? I just started at 5FM, right? I'm there like, I was at Y for 5 years.
Before you went to...
I started at 5 a month ago. So I've been there a month and 1 month. A month and 1 week.
And 1 week,
And the difference between Y and 5, there's many. Listenership. It's much larger at 5 because we're talking to a national platform. So with the national status means I'm speaking to people in Gqeberha, Limpopo, Cape Town, everywhere. Like my voice is in the whole country. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Demographics. A lot more white people.
Like
Y was 90% black. Here I'm talking maybe, I don't know the numbers, but based on the engagement I'm getting, the voice notes, the kinds of people that I'm speaking to on a daily, it's 70% white
people.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
So it's been a challenge. And going back to why it's an art, last week I did a content piece. You know, radio, dude. You tune in and it sounds like fucking bubblegum. It sounds like just, you know, it's relatable, but you're just listening at the back of your mind, right?
Yeah.
But we put so much effort in that shit. The topic was, and maybe you can answer this piece, right?
Yeah.
When borrowing your parents' money or any close relative, do you expect it back?
So if like a cousin borrows money from me.
Or your mother.
Or my mother borrows money from me. Yo, mama, that money's yours, dog. I won't lie, but that's for her.
Okay, and your cousin?
No. Poison, I need the money.
I need my cash, right?
I need the money.
So, I don't know, like my tagline is Lula Odiba, put everything after the divas. And I want my money back. I don't care if you my mama.
I feel you.
And my mom and I, we have that kind of relationship.
I
say, my mom will say, which is hardly ever the case, but if it does happen, she'll be like, yo, do you have 5K or 20K that you can borrow me?
Can just, let me hold it.
Baba?
Let me.
I'll go pay 20,000. I never we back. So it also depends on but my stance was
I need it.
Anyway, we get all types of voice notes. A lot of people siding with you that it's my mom, and people kept saying that, you know, she put me through school. I was like, I never asked for that.
Yeah,
did I volunteer? I didn't ask for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just trying to keep it engaging. My boss texts me. He's like, I like this topic. You know what would make it extra? If you found one of the listeners who has a family member that owes them money and get their money back. We come across these two.
Okay.
Sheldon and Sasha. This was last week.
Okay.
I'm like, Sheldon calls me. He's like, yeah, this is my cousin. She owes me 5K. She said it was for school, blah, blah. She tells me the story.
I need the money.
Like, sharp. I get him on the line. We speak it. Now, look, this is theater of the mind. I'm creating a fucking story.
Yes.
And you don't even want to get out of your car because you want to hear how this ends. That is what I'm trying to do on radio. It's entertainment. I'm an entertainer.
I understand.
So we call Sasha. She picks up. I'm like, hi, my name is Lula. Listen, we're currently on 5. It's happening live.
Yeah, right now.
I'm here with your cousin. He says I do the whole thing.
I get
She's pissed. Sheldon, why is this happening on radio? What the fuck? Like I saw you last week. I'm like, oh, so you saw him last week? That is the art of fucking radio. I'm trying to like keep that shit intact, bro.
And that is the art.
That is the art. So you can't have someone Oshapang TikTok dancers and is really good at it.
It's not going to translate. Okay. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Back on the timeline.
Sorry.
Back on the timeline. So you're at WITS, you're studying, and then you start doing radio. What are some of those first shows that you did where you were like, yo, I thought this thing was easier, or what was your perspective? Like those first couple of shows?
Look, the minute I walked into WITS, it was my first question. When we were taking our ID pictures, I was like, I don't know YFM more. Excuse me, it's called VOW. How?
But you're wilding.
YFM.
You're wilding.
You're wilding. And then they're like, auditions are next week. I'm like, audition? Oh, this is deep.
Yeah.
So I go to the auditions, kill it. Dope. They made us do like a top 40, like countdown, like at number 5 we have Toya the Lazy, come on, Toya the Lazy, number 4, and then you put in an extra voice because you think that's what radio's about. Like you do this whole performance, but they can still tell where the potential is, even from those messy performance clips. And then you have the interview, and I didn't prepare for that shit, dude. I thought it was campus radio. They're probably gonna ask me, what do you do when you get a caller that swears? I was like, there's 4 people in the panel. I'm alone. They're asking me, without mentioning anything in entertainment, what's happening in current affairs.
Okay. I wasn't expecting this.
I was like, I didn't prepare for this.
I
thought it was stupid. I didn't appreciate what radio is.
Okay.
I thought it was just glitz and glam.
So that's your first.
That's my first whiplash. Like, oh shit, okay. They asked me this current affairs thing. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And then I remember in the morning, I saw this Facebook message that said, remember ISIS?
Yes.
ISIS kidnapping Justin Bieber. That's what I told him.
That's crazy.
I heard today that ISIS
they pulled up on
planning on they're planning on kidnapping Justin Bieber. They look at each other like, I'm not getting this job, boy. What the fuck is this?
What are you talking about?
Justin Bieber, why would they? Because he's American. They're like, but isn't he Canadian?
Yeah.
This is going downhill, bro. I'm starting to realize that, wow. Damn.
I'm not prepared.
I don't know what it takes.
I didn't take this seriously.
I didn't take this seriously. I'm just, when you get to varsity, they're like, look left, look right, only one of you. I was like, I'm not going to be the one.
I'm not the one. I hear that.
I get there and like somehow I get the job. It's a different story. Like the station manager saw me at the audition and I was asking questions. He saw the curiosity. And I was asking him questions. I thought he was the receptionist. When we get to the panel, he's the station manager. He's like, that interview was shit, but give this kid a chance. That's how I got in, right? So then we start doing the first few shows. They're like, oh, you thought you were gonna be on during the day. No, you're starting on midnight.
Graveyard shift.
Graveyard shift on campus level with 7,000. How many people are fucking listening? So I'm dragging my fucking feet. I'm doing 3 to 6 in the morning. At 8, I have a class, which means now, like, we're separating the boys from the men. How much do you want?
Do you really want this thing?
Do you really want it?
Let's see.
Show up at 3 there.
Let's see.
And you're gonna do it for 6 months.
I get that.
Yo.
So you went through boot camp.
I went
in
through
terms of
serious boot camp.
Yeah, in terms of radio.
Like,
right.
When we started in my first year of varsity, there were like 24 of us. By the end of third year, maybe there were 7 of us.
Okay.
7 of us.
Yeah.
And of the 7, maybe only 3 of us made it commercially. I feel every single year I feel like a football on transfer season.
I get
where they're like,
you.
which radio station is trying to poach me?
I get
How
you.
much am I on for offer?
I get
What
you.
has my performance been? Have I won any awards? Am I the Ballon d'Or of the year? Like it's like that, dog. It's such a competitive space. If you're not in radio, you don't get it. It's so competitive. When I resigned at Y, before I even resigned, the whole industry knew. People at Y, they knew. I'm watching people pitching for my show before I even have resigned. That is how competitive the space is.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that shit, dog.
Damn.
Bruh. Mara needless to say, naki mo pape.
Yeah, no, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to lean in. I want to double click and open a folder, right, in your life, right?
Sure.
And maybe we can call this folder Stepping into a Legend's Shoes.
Yeah. Oh.
Right? Because that is, from all the content I've watched from kids whose parents are legends, right? And they want to enter in the same field, right? They always talk about the pressure, right? Did you have pressure? Did you not think about it? You were just like, I'm going to create my own lane. It doesn't matter. How did you perceive that?
I was super conflicted in the beginning. I was like, because it's an interesting fact, dude, right? But it's only interesting once you've heard how good I am. Otherwise, it's just another kid who's claiming to be this person's kid.
Yeah, it's like...
And so the fuck what? So... I remember being at VOW, I had a mentor, her name was Lerato, and I told her who my dad was, and she found it fascinating. Mara, again, like she was one of the panelists in my interview.
Okay,
you're not being serious enough. I was so adamant to prove her wrong, because that day, because she was speaking facts. And I just never had someone tell me, you don't even fucking know me. I just told you who my dad is. Why are you talking to me like that?
How dare you speak to me like that?
You know what I mean? She told me my poos, brah. So I was adamant to prove her wrong.
Okay.
And in these crafting years, she advised me like, yo, let it be a fun fact. don't hold it as a badge of honor.
Yes.
You should be proud and whatever, but like, don't like be like, hi, my name is Lula. Do you know who my dad is? That's not flattering. Let them find out, right?
I get that.
And then at some point I was fixated in no one finding out. So I kept quiet.
Those are the two paths that I've seen.
It was the two paths, yeah.
Either I tell everyone that, yo, this is my dad, or I tell no one that this is my dad, right? And I've found, or from just content I've watched, a lot of kids who don't tell people who their parents are usually become more successful than the ones that...
I mean, we can argue about it, but Primo's doing pretty well. I mean, he's not Lucas Khatele, please don't get me wrong.
But he made his way in the world, right? Because they don't want to use that. Yeah, there are a lot of examples, dude, where kids are just like, bro, like who my parents are my parents, but I'm not going to use that to make my way in the world. And they become more successful than the other way.
Dude, and it's going back to like the pressure of like, because people eventually found out, because at some point I was like, look, we're approaching my dad's 5th year death anniversary. I want to talk about it. He is my father at the end of the day. Like, so what? Am I going to be quiet? I don't give a fuck. And to be honest, I didn't even think people would notice. I didn't think people would notice. But people were like, hey, dude, I posted about my dad one time. I got like maybe 80-something thousand likes on, and they're like, wait, aren't you Lula? So people put the dots together, and they were like, oh shit, you're good. No wonder you got.
It makes sense.
And then I was like, I prefer that. I like that.
I like that.
I like that. So if anybody asks, I'm not gonna lie about it. If they don't ask, I'm not gonna mention it. You know what I mean? And it's just what it is. But now it's like it's a part of my story. Right now, I'm at the SABC right next door where he was for 18 years. I think he would be fucking proud of me.
1000%.
I'm not gonna be quiet about that. I'm doing him proud, you know? So
Dope. Okay, so now you're in the system, you're working graveyard shift. How are you getting better?
How am I getting better? Literally day by day. And then we have these things in radio called Snoop sessions. Toughest things ever. It's like, as a musician, preparing 20 songs for your album, and you have your faves, and then you present it to the label, and they like the ones you like the least. That you just put in because you need. It's like that. Those what Snoop sessions are, where you sit in and we play back the bullshit that
that you
like,
recorded.
They listen to you. They're like, the fuck were you saying here?
What's going on?
Why did you say that? What did you mean? So it's critical, important. Or critical double entendres, and like it's critical for you, and it's also constructive criticism, you know what I mean? And it's critical to you, you know? And so we have those every once in a while where they're like, we like this, stop saying too much, stop saying YFM too much, and you know, little things where they're like, okay, we can shape this person.
Because that takes you from good to great.
Yeah, right? It takes you from average to dope, you know?
Those little tweaks.
Dude, and I had a Snoop last Tuesday. On a national level now, because it's no longer campus, it's no longer just Gauteng.
Now it's different.
Now it's national, where now I learn things about what time spent listening is. I learn about like how to make someone keep a tune for longer than they should. Like, I'm gonna force you to listen to this ad because what I've said is gonna come. It's so compelling that you will sit through the ad.
So you leave cliffhangers.
And it's so strategic with radio. Like, you have to be good to know how to do that stuff. That's what separates, again, the boys from the men. So that's how I was getting better. And then I moved to Res, which means I was closer to the studio, and I put a lot of work. My last 6 months in Wits, which was my 3rd year, I was always at the station to a point where Y called me. I didn't even send anything. They were like, we just heard your show, can you come? I went, got hired same day.
So when Y hits you up, what's your perspective on this opportunity that you didn't chase, it came to you? Because those are those opportunities that you chase and opportunities that come to you are different, right? So what's your perspective on, YFM just hit me up? Like, I'm the shit.
Yeah. So in the year we got hired at Y, there were 19 of us in rotation. 19 of the best in South Africa. So UJFM, VITS, UP, UCT, UKZN.
Okay.
Like, do you want it? Come chase it. Only 3 of us got hired.
Out of 19.
Out of 19.
Oh, 16-ish.
16, guys.
I'm sorry, yeah? That's how it goes, bro.
It's like that sometimes. You didn't make the cut. Yeah. It's fine. So, but before being called in as the 19, I was such an entitled twat now that I think about it.
Okay.
Of the 19, maybe 4 of us were from VOW, right? And I was the last to get hired. The rest of the 3, they sent in demos and all of that. I don't know why I was, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. This is why it only lends the idea that I was entitled. But I was like, oh my God, white people are getting hired at Y before me. This makes no fucking sense. I'm better. I know I'm better.
I'm better than you.
I know. You know? But I didn't know that they were sending, I didn't know that the people were going the extra mile. I just thought my beats. At this point, I'm getting pissed, bro. I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to Japan with my girlfriend at the time. We get a TEFL course, like we go. I do the whole thing. I stopped smoking weed for 6 months because I heard they blood test you upon arrival.
So you're just like, yo.
Dog. I was leaving 15 Feb.
I don't want problems.
I was leaving 15 Feb 2019.
So January you.
Yeah, Baba. Yeah. So now it's 2018 November.
Okay.
After a show, I get a call, right? Hey, this is Wabo. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? I meet these motherfuckers that I know I'm better than they, right? It's November. Now during these 19, we work in graveyard. And why? It's like, my dreams are fucking coming true, bro.
Yeah, in real time.
When I'm looking back at those pictures, I'm so fucking...
That's hilarious.
Anyway, so there's 19 of us in rotation and we were doing graveyard and we only had like 1 day a week because there's 7 days in a week and there's 2 shows each night. Okay. So there's enough shows for at least 14 of us to get through.
There's a slot.
Like in November, December, I can see they're not calling all of us anymore. The 19 is now 10. January, the 10 is now 6, dog. Then that's when they call us and the 3 of us who made it, like we get in, they tell us, okay, so you guys are the ones that we're hiring for the new, because it's called Playground. It's time for you to play and fuck around. We're trying to figure out who's the best, right? Yeah. And the guy that I came in with, he's at 947 Drive. So he made the car, he's killing it. Shout out to Flex. He has a wadi. Yes, Flex. We came from VOW together, so we really pushed, dog. And then he has a wadi. She was at Y, she's at Algo FM in PE, also killing it. There's also a stupid bitch that's still at Y. Hate her guts. She also made it through miraculously in this round.
Crazy.
But you know, I made it, bitch. Anyway, and then there was me. Okay. And I was.
What a great class,
dude! It was a great class,
what a
bro.
Great class, bro.
And now I'm at 5 national.
So now you're in YFM. Obviously, you're working on your craft constantly because you love the art.
Yeah, it's easy for me to come, dog.
I get you.
The pay was shit in the beginning, but it was so easy for me to go.
I think that's a very important topic to tell young people out there, right? Don't let the pay deter you from your vision and your goal and where you're going, because a lot of people right now would be like, I'm getting paid 3,000, I'm not going there. But it's like you're blocking your doors.
What's 3,000 to 300K? 2-3 bars. So when I started, I was making 8,000 at Y, and I was doing 2 shows. Now coming through from bro.
2 shows.
2 shows a week.
Guys, YFM. Okay. But we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. So I was doing 2 shows, Saturday 2 to 6, which is afternoon drive of the weekend. Like most of the listenership lies. Like my boss trusted me that much that in my first year, he knew that like putting me on that slots would do great. Remember I told you there were 3 of us?
Yes,
Graveyard.
yes.
They're getting 3 times what I'm getting paid because they're working more. I'm working 2 shows. I'm pissed. I'm like, why on first show? But I didn't realize over that time, so nobody. Graveyard. They hear you on a Saturday afternoon.
On the Saturday,
you know?
because that's when people are in
That's when people are going to groove, dog.
Exactly.
You know, and also the Saturday slots, we have something called outside broadcasts.
Okay.
Amstel and Friends is throwing a party.
Oh,
Why is a
that's
media
when
partner?
you guys go
I'm hosting.
there.
Batseba come dripped out. They trusted me. They knew what they were doing. Shout out to Tumelo Diao. He's the one that saw
the vision.
He saw.
Yeah.
So
dope.
So I was doing that. I was earning 8,000 because I was hosting that Saturday show and a show on Sunday evening.
Okay.
So essentially in a week I was making 2K, which meant I was making something like 8K before tax. Sometimes you could 7.1
7.8
or something.
Yeah, because you know you have that
now,
tax.
this is why I was saying coins don't matter in the beginning. They matter, but like you can't make that your end all be all. Because as I was doing my Saturday show, and on weekend, you don't get a technical producer. It's literally just you, the microphone, whatever you came up with the whole week, right? I get an email from this guy. His name is Rio. He says to me, I really love the way that you sound, but your show was so bland. It's just you and music. Like this, I've worked at Y. These are my ratings with 2,000. 7. I paid that nigga that 2,000 rand, leaving me with only 5K. And I'm a YFM presenter with no money to show for it. Invested in that show, got promoted. Because they were like, your show sounds so good and you have no resources. Clearly someone's helping you. Clearly you put.
So if we were to add resources to it, it could.
If you've proven to us, I moved to 7 to 10, and now I'm in the big 5. I'm here every single day of the week. And I'm doing it quicker than anybody ever at Y. I was the youngest presenter at Y till I left. From the moment I came in till I left. The people who came in who are younger than me, they'll do a stint, 1 month, they're like, So I stayed the youngest till I left. Yeah, dog. But like, in the beginning, you're not gonna get the money. It's as simple as that.
It's simple.
In the beginning. I only started making money 2 years ago. I've been doing radio for 7 years. It took me 5 years of radio to start making coins, real coins, where I can move out of home, buy and pay off my car in 1 year and 7 months. Contract at 5 years.
The theory is
you can do it, dog.
The theory is that if you're chasing your dreams, it's gonna take at least 10 years for you to see
at the
anything.
You're lucky if it takes less
and
than.
now for you, it's like it's even longer than that. You get what I mean? Like, damn. Okay, so you're at YFM, you're killing shit. Why did you decide to leave? Because you mentioned that you did resign. And being in a place for 5 years creates a certain amount of comfortability, right? And leaving is like taking a new leap of faith. So what pushed you to take that leap of faith?
There were many things, dog. Things that I haven't actually spoken about on a platform like this.
Okay.
But I remember, because you said I was at Y for 5 years, right? Remember, I was dry. So imagine my management, they've seen me grow up.
Yes, literally in front of their eyes.
In front of their fucking eyes. They were responsible for that. Right? They've seen me be this crusty ass kid to a kid who lives in a beautiful home, drives a cool car, is leading a good life. And it's all because of this platform. That can be a good and a bad thing, right? Because I am an example of what you can do when you're with this brand. But
Example
also, because and in this thing, I just felt like my value was starting to be undermined because of the fact that I grew up with them. Like they started to lose sight of my value, even though I'm seeing it growing exponentially, but they're seeing it like as a 5 years, she's moving well. Meanwhile, I'm taking leaps, bruh. I was moving at 2-year intervals per show, right? I did weekend for 2 years, did 7 to 10 for 2 years, did lunch for 1 year and some change before initially when I got there, there was a guy named Uncle Tap, right?
Yeah,
oh
shout out.
God. Oh God. Woo!
Malume. Yeah.
What a don.
Of course.
Njaya game.
Yeah.
Spent far too long at Y.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Had he left earlier, I can't say where he would be, but I know he would be one of the biggest jocks we have in the country.
I get that.
I think he might have stayed a little too long, and a lot of presenters were starting to fall in that trap. Luckily for me, I saw the trend, and I promised myself, I got into Y when I'm 20. I will not give them all my 20s.
Yes.
I'll give you half of my 20s.
Yes.
So I always knew I was going to leave.
Which is fair.
But I also started seeing my worth bigger than what Y was at the time. And I don't blame them. It's just the way that things were moving. A lot of people were spending a decade there. I wasn't thinking a decade. I wasn't like, after 10 years, I'll get drive.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's like, nah.
I need a national platform. I need to know, can I speak to white people? My plan is to be on BBC radio. That's not gonna happen if by 31 years old I'm still at Y. It won't happen. Even 5, I have a plan for them. I'm hoping that 5 is my last local radio station. Okay. Then maybe we say Breakfast Club. Maybe we say BBC or 1X. Okay. I want to do the shit on a world-class level.
I love that.
You see what I'm saying? That's the plan, and that's why I always knew that all of my 10 years in one place, it's not going to cut it for me. I know that in not too long, when I'm 35,
I need to be
I'll be
Trevor
wa radio, Tusompedi wa radio. I'll be Latuma wa radio. You know, I really want to do this on a world-class level.
I get that.
And Trevor made it so tangible.
Yes.
You know?
I love how you use Trevor as an example, right? The human mind is so interesting because once you see someone do something, you're like, oh, I can actually do it.
Like
now
it's
it becomes
possible.
a tangible thing. And I'm sure you're the same for a kid right now who's 13 and is like, no, I really want to get into radio.
Especially the queer ones, because I don't see many faces that look, or voices that sound like mine, that look like mine on the radio or TV. It's always the gays.
Yes.
Oh, the gays are killing it.
Actually, right.
But where are the lesbians? Name
What do you
one
think? What do you think that is?
I think maybe it's patriarchy a bit. Like before, gay women can get it, gay men will get it first. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is.
Because I do feel like gay men are on top of like...
in the creative space, my boy. How many lesbians? I can name Karabo Poppy, Courtney Paul, me. Some of them might be slipping my mind right now, but I can only name... The gays. Tebe Makuku, Richie Mnisi, Somnizi, Caddy, like there's so many.
There is a hierarchy that exists. And I'm glad that you pointed it out because actually that's not a conversation that we have. And most people aren't even aware of that.
I don't think people are aware.
They aren't. Really.
And I don't know like if this is it a reflection of maybe lesbians are not creative? I don't know. I doubt that. I doubt that. Like,
think so.
There's a lot of like gay, like musicians that are lesbian, like Siche, fine gal, that one. That's a gal. That's a gal. Keiki, you know.
Yes.
But it's just music. I've never, like, I thought Twasa was a lesbian. Imagine my surprise when I found out she has a husband. So I'm basically alone.
That's crazy. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, she's married to a man.
That's a
girl. Come.
Okay. Damn.
But anyway, I guess that's a story for another day. I'm yet to find out why it's happening and what it means. But yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing? Let me flip that. What's the most rewarding thing about being a broadcaster?
When someone comes to me and reminisces about something that I said, because it meant that moment lived on.
It's a memory.
It's a memory.
It's literally
like,
imprinted.
oh my God, I remember when you, and you know, and it's like,
I get that.
Or when someone tells me, like I said earlier, like I was struggling to get out of my car because I had to hear where this was going.
I hear that.
It means that, you know,
I
captivated you,
people's lives.
Everyday lives, you know. I used to have this feature on the radio where we used to help you apologize.
Damn.
And between you and I and the Dead Radio fam, a lot of radio is the theater of the mind.
Yes.
So you create scenarios.
Yes.
It's like any reality TV. You know that it's not real, but you can't keep your eyes off of it. It's storytelling, right? So we had, before we started faking the segments, it was about helping you apologize. You just call us, tell us what you did, give us the person's number that you want to apologize. And initially it was something stupid like, I think I smashed my best friend's boyfriend, you know what I mean? The one day, we had this guy, he must have been in his mid-30s. He calls and he's like, hey guys, I need you guys' help saying sorry to my mom. I haven't seen her in years. Last time she saw me, I'd stolen the microwave. And you know when you are drinking, when you're into drugs, you can steal everything. But the minute you steal a microwave, you've crossed the line, bro.
Now you're wily. How are we going to heat this food? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? The TV I see.
I can see. Me washing machine ink.
Damn, that's
microwave
crazy.
1 year. Anyway, so he was like, you know, he stole, his mom had taken him to rehab countless times, spent money she didn't have, to a point where she was just like, and he ran away. He ran away. He hadn't seen his mom for a long time. And he just wants to call. And then so we do the thing. I call the lady and I tell her, my name is Lula, we're on, and it's late, bro. I was doing my late show. So we weren't even expecting her to pick up. She's an old lady, dog. Hello, Yamamutla, like, yo, the the way we wept on that day, we cried, yo. So she picks up the phone and I explained to her who I am. She's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm here with your son. Oh, she starts crying. And then he starts crying and he starts apologizing. He says, I have a daughter now. I really want you to meet her. I've sorted out my life. I have a place to stay. I am so sorry that I was the son that I was to you. Bro.
I get that.
That was so real.
I get that. I get that.
And it's my favorite thing about radio.
Fuck. Yeah, that emotional impact.
That emotional impact. It doesn't happen every day.
I get that. But when it does.
It's worth not having it for a month or 2 or 3.
That.
However long.
I get that.
Yo.
I want to switch gears and I want to talk to you about the evolution of dreams, right?
Evolution of dreams.
I speak to every single guest on Dead Radio about the evolution of their dreams, right? I'm always so interested in how people's dreams evolve, right? Especially when you step into a building. Yours, I guess, was VOW, and then the next building was YFM, which then led you to 5FM, right? The dream is always evolving. You find new doors to get into in the building. What's a new dream for you that you didn't have 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 18 months ago?
I want to be a car reviewer. A supercar reviewer. I never knew I had that dream.
That's so fire.
Right?
Dog, that's so fire.
I actually have like a show concept in mind where I intertwine my career and this dream. And it's something that we've seen before. You know, car karaoke with, what was that?
The white guy. James.
James, So, but I want to review the car and maybe Questa's latest song or Younger Chief, where we're like, what do you think of the car? We're gonna race, play your song, make it a series. But I want to review cars. That's
That's fire.
Right?
Yo, you've put that out into the universe.
It's gonna come, dog. BMW, Mini Cooper. I know, because BM, you know, BM owns Mini Cooper, Rolls Royce. Did you know that?
Yes.
I learned that like just a few months ago.
He's a big car guy, so I get all my car knowledge from him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a new dream.
That's a new dream for you right now. It's definitely gonna come back. I think, there's so many different ways we can take this conversation, but I think this has been one of my favorite conversations, bro. It's been amazing. Your energy's super dope.
Thanks, man.
But I think
so is yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
I think let's wind down the conversation and let's speak about the youth out there, right? What's your last piece of advice to a kid out there who's maybe queer, maybe straight, who's like, you know, I want to follow a non-traditional, non-linear path just like you. What's your last piece of advice to the youth out there?
Yeah.
For the dreamers. What's your last piece? of advice.
Yo, and it's crazy. My girlfriend and I often have this conversation, and we find that it's something that's inevitable in any creative's journey, right? You know that saying that says, you are the company you keep?
Yes.
Sometimes you will meet someone who's cool as shit, has the coolest shit, does the coolest shit, meets with the coolest people, everything that you want to be. But they're full of shit.
Yes.
We all have them.
Yes.
We all have them.
They're actually a horrible person in real life.
They're horrible.
Yes.
My one was Frank.
Okay.
I don't think she'll be comfortable with me mentioning hers because it's a famous rapper.
Okay.
She had someone who seems to have their shit
together.
But they were using the shit out of us. They saw the potential. You are gonna meet those people. Don't stick with those people because that will separate you. You remember those two journeys?
The two paths.
The two paths. So you have, my guy's name was Frank. You have Frank who seems like he has it going on. Seems like he has it together. In fact, might, but is super selfish, trash, zero work ethic. We all have our Franks and they all have their own flaws. Or you can learn from a Frank and promise yourself to be nothing like him, right? That's, your decisions matter, and it starts with the people that you keep around you. That is the piece of advice that I'm gonna give you. If you wanna become something, hang with like-minded people who are already doing it. It's as simple as that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Show me 5 people that you spend the most time with and I can predict your destiny. Basically.
Ooh. I spend a lot of time with, I used to, if I had more free time, but I am the MVP. I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend who is by far the best human being on earth. By far. I spend a lot of time, who do I spend my time with?
it's just a theory. It's basically
what do they do, where they at in life,
what's their perspective on life. Like, you can predict people's destiny just based off their circle.
Used to spend a lot of time, not physically, but on the phone and just communicating. Her name is Colors, and she's the one that introduced me to the whole notion of the power of manifestation, and without going into too much depth with it, but she taught me your reality is a reflection of your mind.
Of your thoughts.
She taught me that.
I get that.
And her life is good because it's good up here. And I'm constantly reminding myself, be grateful, give thanks, see the things that are good. Don't focus on the bad and let
what you don't have.
You know what I mean?
Abundance versus scarcity.
Abundance versus scarcity, and always focus. So I spent a lot of time with her, and it perpetuated in my real life. And and now we're
here.
People that I surround myself with are people who think the way that I should be.
I get that.
And I try and keep those kinds of people with me all the time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Dude.
Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another episode of Dead Radio from your boy Ini.
Shout out Ini. Bye.
And you're live on Dead Radio.